Ever since Star Wars started back in 1977 by creator George Lucas, a lot of fans have really loved the characters of Luke Skywalker and what George created with the prequel trilogy, introducing Anakin Skywalker and more. And not just that, I've also had Disney introduce yet another Skywalker, Ben Solo, in the mix of the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about the Star Wars universe is that we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are undergoing many different changes to the Star Wars franchise. They are very ambitious about the future and what they want to do with the future Star Wars films, TV shows, books, novels, comics, video games, you name it. That's really all going to interconnect with each other and will be modeled after the MCU, so looking forward to that. But everything related to, of course, Disney Star Wars. Now that we have a brand new CEO, Bob Chapek, he's actually taking over Bob Iger, there's a lot of changes coming our way over to Lucasfilm by Disney that's really going to pretty much steer Star Wars in the right direction that fans have hoped for, at least to a certain extent. Now, when we look at the Star Wars fans, a lot of fans were having a lot of problems with the direction of the sequel trilogy and the direction of Star Wars overall by Disney and Lucasfilm, and now they're in a phase of developing new eras and a brand new mythology and new characters, and at the end of the day, the Skywalkers really are the main selling point of Star Wars. There's no denying that. So what's really intriguing is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy as well as their new Star Wars universe. Just some days ago, Disney CEO Bob Iger stepped down for Bob Chapek to actually take over as the new CEO and run everything Star Wars, Marvel, etc., and that Chapek has big plans for the future of Star Wars. Now, it's noted that Bob Chapek and Iger have had discussions on fixing the Star Wars brand after the divide of fans back in 2017 from The Last Jedi, and how since then it has actually had an effect on box office results for the most recent Star Wars films, such as Solo and The Rise of Skywalker. Now, it's noted that Bob Chapek is bringing creator George Lucas back on board into the Star Wars universe, for starters with Disney Plus, and that Chapek realizes that the Skywalkers are the main sellers for the Star Wars universe, where it's explained that Bob has actually had discussions with previous CEO Bob Iger about bringing a return of the Skywalkers in multiple ways for the new Star Wars universe, and that this will mainly be done on Disney Plus, exploring the lives of Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker in different ways. For starters, it's explained that they plan to develop a young Luke Skywalker TV series that will be in the form of live action, and that for the Rise of Skywalker sequel series that will be in animated form, they plan to bring back Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost after the events of Episode 9, and to explore his life as a Force ghost. However, there is also an untitled project in the works that will primarily focus on Anakin's life in a different time, before his death, that will actually create new lore for fans, and that Bob Chapek will be bringing a return of Ben Solo, not just in the Rise of Skywalker sequel series, but also now in an untitled project for Disney Plus aside from that, where it's unclear if that too is going to be animated or will be in live action form. So the thing about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is that this movie really had a lot of things going for it. It went through a lot of changes behind the scenes because of Kathleen Kennedy, and how that in and on itself really had a massive effect on how fans really looked at Star Wars in general. It really makes you wonder, if this is a desperate or a genuine attempt by Bob Chapek. Now, obviously he's picking up on a lot of ideas from Bob Iger, but of course throwing in new ideas into the mix, such as an additional untitled project that is going to feature Ben Solo. So Ben Solo, at the end of the day, guys, is indeed a Skywalker, and how they're also trying to bring back Luke and Anakin in multiple ways, such as the Young Luke Skywalker TV series, an untitled Anakin Skywalker project, where he's actually not dead and alive and well as the Rise of Skywalker sequel series that's going to bring a return of Anakin's Force Ghost. Now, mind you, the animation style for the Rise of Skywalker sequel series that's in early development is actually said to be realistic, like lifelike in a sense, where it's not going to be like the Clone Wars or Star Wars, Resistance or Star Wars Rebels, where it has more of a cartoony look. this sequel series is actually going to have a more realistic design to it. Kind of think like the Old Republic cutscenes. Something kind of like that is what they're aiming for with this new sequel series for The Rise of Skywalker. So, with that being said, obviously, Disney Star Wars is changing. It's going under a lot of changes, it's getting a major facelift, and I'm only hoping for the best because at the end of the day, I love Star Wars, I'm very passionate about Star Wars, and for Disney and Lucasfilm to be making changes like this, and that these are their ways to continue the Skywalker saga, it's probably and unfortunately the best that we can really get as of right now. You know, as far as movies, maybe they can do something else in the distant future for all we know. But as of right now, that saga is done and done for good. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.